Okay, it's recording.
To get my voice too?
Should be. Hopefully. I wanted to make a recording because I posted a video that said I am the AA victim this time, and explain what that meant. When Eric was with my sister Angel, and she used to go to AA, and she told me at these AA meetings that Eric hit her and spent all her rent money. And it got to the point where some guys in the AA got together and decided they were going to take him out to the woods and beat him up. And she went to the beach with him or something right before that and admitted, or her boys were there and admitted that he didn't do any of that stuff. And the guy was like, oh my God, we almost took him to the woods and beat him up. And so he'd like to tell that story, and I think he's probably using it as a reason to try to gag me, silence me, take away my rights. When my argument is the other way around, is he's turned me into AA. He says I'm a slut, a drug addict, I'm crazy, and people have now, especially with the courts doing nothing, the police doing nothing, them and my kids have to believe there's some truth to it, when the truth is they just haven't investigated a freaking thing. And they threw out my responses, even though I was in Spanaway, without pen, paper, gas, money, because I didn't have original signatures. And his lawyer, those Facebook submissions were a joke. And once I was finally served with them, almost a year later, I was blown away at how badly presented it was, how chaotic it was, how it didn't show every response, how it did show that Angel Lynn was in fact in contact with him, because he was the one using Nathan's account. So her little cute thing of, I ran into your Uncle Mike today, she knew who she was talking to. And that's exactly why people are served with any evidence submitted against them, because that was the first thing that jumped out at me once I finally got those things, was there she was, actually messaging them when 2 months before that, Eric told the kids to block her. But apparently she sent the kids a friend request. They saw her last name was Christensen 18 years later, and when we paid her to change her name, and they just accepted the friend request thinking that she was family. And then they asked me after the fact, who is she? Eric was pretty adamant that they unfriend her, and I was the one who said she's not hurting nothing. If she starts contacting them and causing a problem, that might be something different, but I'm not being preemptively rude, except for the fact I want to know why she's using the name Christensen. Eric's the only husband I've ever had, and we've been married for this point over 12 years. Why the hell should we pay her to change her name to Simpson? Why would she be going by Christensen on Facebook? She apparently thought that after 12 years he would still come crawling back to her, and she's not too far off. He's sick, and he can't help it, and she knows it, and she uses it. There's no way she would have let her grandson be given up for adoption unless she was already distracted with my children. Anyway, is there anything here that you're not following along? Or for the recording, I'm talking to somebody else just because I've found that it helps to have somebody else who doesn't know what I'm talking about ask questions from that perspective for clarity.
So you say that you're the new AA, meaning that, explain that again to me?
she would go to AA meetings, and at these meetings, she would try to pick up men. And so, in order to pick up the men at the AA meeting, she would try to play at their sympathy, because she always has played the victim. It's all she knows how to do. And so she said to Eric Hitter, spent all his rent money.
And these guys, okay, so I understand.
So some guys at the AA hall had gotten together and decided they were going to take him to the woods and severely beat him.
Which was it? Would have been Angel's?
When he had never laid a hand on her.
That would have been Eric, right?
Yeah, that would have been Eric.
Yeah.
My point is, I'm telling the truth. He really took my children, my baby daughter, took them and won't let me see them, restrained them from me based on lies, continues to lie, knows he's lying. He is Angel in this scenario. I am the AA, but not only me, excuse me, I meant to change that also to we, because my children face the same thing. I look at my beautiful daughter and then know the animals, these freaking animals, all he has to say is that little girl is evil, or she's got a demon, or she's nasty, slutty, and they'll use that to hurt her, when in fact she's none of those things. She's a beautiful little girl who loves to help people, make them happy, make them smile, makes her shine, and it's unbelievable to me that I couldn't go to the police department to help them when I have nobody else.
And the police didn't want to hear anything about it.
No.
And they come over here by us, already ready to deal with some person that wasn't even here.
All they want to do is put me into a psychiatric hold.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is easier for them than my statement that it happens every day, and just because I was smart enough to figure it out, I'm penalized for it instead of having it investigated, and which has led to more horrifying realizations about the legal system, like incarceration is going up 400% in my lifetime.
Yeah.
The change of the recruitment videos for the police department from protect and serve to militant anti-citizen. One of my biggest horrors is sitting here and telling a college-educated officer that I peed my pants in fear, and he sneered at me what else was I smoking, and all I could think of was my daughter sitting there terrified to the point of urinating herself, and the smartest officer on deck asked her what else she's smoking. I have seen angel dust once in my life, over 20 years ago. I don't know where you get it. I don't know. I heard it saying formaldehyde and stuff. Eric and his buddy in high school apparently got really good stuff. He really liked it. So he was able to point out to me on tapes of like cops and stuff where they say somebody's drunk, and he's like, no, they're not drunk, they're on PCP. And you can't, and once somebody points it out to you, you can see the subtle difference of, you know, they're not quite drunk, they're just like out of it. When he asked me what else I was smoking, I didn't even think of it with other people I talked to after the fact, who were like, you realize he was talking about angel dust, and which made me remember Eric saying that he was so high on PCP, he sat there and pissed himself, and my heart sunk, and my horror grew. That that's what this officer was insinuating, was my terror was from smoking a substance I haven't even seen in over 20 years. I hear whether it's my own subconscious or not, I'm not alone all the time, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And I see Brenda right away was, I mean, you could see it when I've been looking at the symptoms of complex post-traumatic stress disorder, that she is one of the most severe cases I've seen, and I'm afraid I'm not far behind her because of the continuous, constant nightmare of me being the AA victim in this case. And if it weren't for the fact that I seem to have some sort of otherworldly protection, I God only knows what would have happened to me by now. Because I said, for some reason, if I'm in danger, weapons will start appearing in my vicinity. Male friends start calling out of the blue or showing up out of the blue. I'll leave the house, stuff like that. And it's already happened enough over the last 3 years to make me, I do appreciate my small blessings. And
people appreciate you.
yeah, that's been a rough one when his daughter was here and he was showing her dancing and talking about how she never is relaxed enough anywhere else to dance. It's the first time he has ever seen her dancing outside of their house. Another friend's 11-year-old asked if she could move in. People call me moms, and makes it, they miss me. My friends leave and miss me, and I shake and tremble missing Nathan and Jessica so much. I don't know what it must have done to them. People's mothers die, but those people are comforted. They're not locked in basements and punished for showing any favor or nicety to that parent. So not only were they ripped out of my life, but I've been told the most horrible justifications for it about my own children. Has been one nightmare heaped upon another nightmare. The lawyer, when the guardian ad litem, I obviously did not think I needed a guardian ad litem. But when I didn't show up for the hearing because of the circumstances leading up to that court hearing, not to mention, looking back on it, don't think I should have had to. I didn't put up $500 to get me a guardian ad litem, and I had been doing everything except for the fact that they were literally trying to trap me here to keep me out of court. I wasn't doing anything wrong. No justification for a guardian ad litem at that point, from my perspective. But when he was assigned, I thought, okay, I'm pretty sure I'm allowing the enemy into my home because he's not. When I heard a guardian ad litem was appointed at first, I was ecstatic. But that was a Lacey Cox, and that was back in May. So that's actually a good question because Robert Nettleton wasn't appointed until October. Lacey Cox was appointed back in May, but she wasn't supposed to be a guardian ad litem for the children. She was a guardian ad litem for me, and I immediately recoiled because it's a no-fault state, and I had been doing nothing wrong. My bills were paid. I was...
Then they wanted you to have to go through treatment and do all sorts of shit.
That was until the end, because he didn't make that accusation until I proved I wasn't schizophrenic. I think he was hoping to either...